Good morning, everyone. We are happy. It is Monday. It is Mindset Monday. This is the day that we kind of make sure we're on track before we actually get on the train. So we're going to chat about that today. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Bus, live with two
Sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. And excuse me, I started my organization, so to speak, yesterday. And I got a lot of exercise just running up and down stairs. It's all good. And the one thing that I really did, at least once a week, if I'm not keeping up with my email, I make sure I go through it and just go through it and just get rid of stuff that maybe I've signed up for that I forgot that I get 5,000 emails for. Anyways, long story short, I'm up to date with my email, and that is such a fantastic feeling. And I had a conversation with someone whose name shall remain nameless. And we were talking about email. And she says, I don't worry about that. I have over 15,000 emails. And I was like, ugh. And trust me, I've been there. So, but I really have to keep on top of the email. So even if I'm glancing at email, but, I see it come in, but of course you get sidetracked, you're busy throughout the day. So I've instituted new protocol for myself, so to speak. So that really is kind of sets the tone for work projects and stuff like that. So I'm psyched.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great way to start your Monday and Monday mindset, keeping organized. And we always talk about taking different strategies and steps that are going to help you prepare for the week, which you actually should have started on Sunday, because Sunday is actually technically the first day of the week. I generally try to review all my appointments on Sunday night for the week. I do it in two segments. I spend about 15 minutes double checking to make sure that my phone and my physical calendar, which I use both, coordinates, because a lot of times, we miss something. We depend on our mobile devices, but also some of us depend on our physical devices, meaning a calendar and or appointment book, planner, whatever it may be, whatever you're using. And in addition to that, a lot of people also use a pocket planner. So they've got the pocket planner in their, purse or, whatever they're carrying, man's purse, whatever anyone's carrying, backpack, fanny pack. So you've got that, and then you've got your mobile device, and then you got your physical one that you may leave on your desk or whatever. And on top of that, you may even have a travel one. And you may even have like an iPad that you actually put it on. So there's a lot of different things, devices, paperwork, books, planners, agendas that we want to make sure that we're all coordinating. So you should try to spend about 15 minutes with that. And on the weekly ones, but I also do on Sunday night, it's only spent about 5 minutes or so, but I still do it, is I look at long-term, meaning the rest of the month. Do I have any quick conflicts that I know of? Do I have to make an adjustment in my schedule? Because you don't want any last minute glitches in that. And then I'll spend about another 5 minutes on looking at the quarter. So I do, it's probably about a half-hour segment or so on short-term, meaning the week, one immediate long-term, which is through the end of that month, and then one that's maybe through the quarter. And like I said, the further ones out, it's really more of a glance just to double check, am I still in check? Because things come up during the week and you jot a date down and say, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, the doctor calls, oh, I can do that. And you just jot it down real quick, and then you realize, oh shoot, I forgot I have another appointment, on that day, or I've got another plan that day, or I've got another Zoom meeting, whatever it may be. So I spend my time doing that. And when I spend just focus in on appointments or daily activities, it really, once I get through the actual appointment piece to it, because it's not just the appointments, it's things that I may have to schedule for me personally, whether it's scheduling my journaling time. And yes, I schedule me time because I need to schedule me time because I don't want to forget about me. And the point of Monday Mindset is part of our focus is making sure that our mind is open to whatever journey and pivots and derailments that are going to come up when we're trying to prevent those. Inevitably, they happen because life is perfectly imperfect, like we are perfectly imperfect. So things do come up, they arise, they change, and you've got to pivot, and you got to know, okay, I can do this. And in order to get that real good feeling of I can do this, I'm not going to get fret over it, I'm not going to get worried about it, comes with good mindset. But you can't get good mindset unless you schedule yourself to make sure you got good mindset. So it is a cycle, and a lot of people just leave themselves dry, leave themselves empty, put themselves last of the list. We're telling you, stop doing that. You should be first on your list. Now, some people say, wow, that sounds kind of selfish. It is not selfish. You have to make sure that you are in check with you, that you've got checks, you've got balances, you've crossed your T's, you've dotted your I's, because that is going to show not only to yourself the importance of your own health and wellness and mindset, but it's also going to transcend to other people to say, oh, because I think too many decades have gone by in our lifetime. You know, when you look back to the women, and I'm specifically now talking about women, not men, and this does apply to all, but this particular piece, that's going to lead into another kind of controversial subject. But the point being, decades, and I'm talking decades ago, women were like at the bottom of the list. You know, they were, barefoot and pregnant, stay-home mamas, made sure the house was running, did all the housework, the cleaning, the raising of the children, the balancing of the budgets, while the man went out and worked. That was a typical heterosexual, I can't even believe I have to say this crap, heterosexual family. Now, of course, we talk about partnership, and sometimes it applies and sometimes it doesn't, because I have a lot of lesbian friends, I have a lot of gay friends, and their partnership works basically the same way as a heterosexual family couple. You have one that's more focused in the household. No, I don't think that's ever really going to change. I think with lesbian couples, I would have to say, just because they're women, biological women, they tend to still have those women tendencies that I don't know if we're actually born with it. We just, you just have naturally that nourishing, a little bit more of a nourishing piece DNA to yourself versus a man. They just, they're doing their thing, and not that their thing is wrong. Their thing is very much important, but they're doing their thing. So you typically have those types of households. So it's not selfish to say, hey, who's ever the main piece, whether you're the male, the female, whatever, the main piece to, like, say, the household piece to it, the one that's kind of the director of the house, I should say, you have to allow yourself time for meditation. If that's your thing, a lot of people think meditation is a little quirky, but you'll find that a lot of successful people meditate. And when you put that mindset out, so you've got a lot of athletes that meditate, and their meditation is not necessarily sitting in Indian style type of seating. I'm not sure if that's even politically correct to say anymore, but oh well, I said it. The chanting, whatever. A lot of people assume that that's kind of meditation, which for some it is, but for a lot of successful, and that doesn't mean that the other people that are doing it that way are unsuccessful. So I got to clarify that. What I'm talking about is like an athlete that's preparing for a game, a tennis match, swimming, gymnastics, skiing, snow toboggan, whatever it may be. A lot of people, you'll see them with the earplugs in, and what are they listening to? Most of the time, it's their jam, their music. And frequently, and I know this for verbatim for the Red Sox, when the player gets up right before he's being announced to go to the plate, the Red Sox, and I'm sure a lot of other teams do this, but I know for a fact that the Red Sox do that, but they'll play that particular person the player that's up to bat, their favorite jam. It just gets you into that mood, your focus of yourself, what you need to accomplish, get your juices flowing. And that's the whole point of money mindset, is to get your juices flowing, totally juices flowing. and I'm going to let you interject, and then we're going to get into this controversial subject that Jan doesn't even know. Well, she knows about the subject, she just doesn't know I'm going to drop a bucket.
So glad that I can speak. Well, I want to address a couple things. You know, it takes a habitual routine to establish whatever your jam is, and that's okay. But getting into it is half the battle. And I've always said, and I will continue to say it, it is hard waking up early. Even though I automatically wake up, it is hard. Okay. The other part about meditation, a lot of people do look at those type of rituals or routines as woo-woo. I get that. However, what a lot of people don't realize is that these practices have been around for thousands of years. So there is some habitual routine. There's something in the universe that quantifies that type of a practice. And if people benefit from that practice, you know, you could say woo-woo or however you refer it to, that's fine. I really don't care. But the point being, you know, establish a routine to, you know, get your jam going. You know, my jam happens to be, I just boom, wake up, you know, and I'm absolutely freezing when I wake up. That's the hard part of it too for me as well. But it's invigorating because I've accomplished so much more by the time that we get on to record the podcast. I've already, you know, done my journaling, I've done my affirmations, I've reading, and I'm still reading The If by Mark Batterson, and the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, which is absolutely amazing. So that fulfills me. That is my morning ritual. And of course, I got my exercise in. So moving right along, let's talk about controversy.
Well, we will, but, you know, understand that not everyone can get in what you get in the morning.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Right. So
that works for me.
make sure, right. I know you know that, but I want to make sure that our listeners and viewers, you know, everyone's to-do list or daily to-do list really has to match not only your mindset, but what your, you know, what your daily schedule is like. So while one may look like this long list, oh my God, she's, you know, got this long list and she's accomplished it all before 8 a.m. That works for a jam, but that may not necessarily be your jam. It may not you may not necessarily be able to do that. An important piece Jan did not tell you is that she also goes to bed very early because she's up early. So for some people, you know, they're up till 9, 10 o'clock at night getting all their stuff done. So really don't feel like, oh, I'm less than because I can't get up as early as somebody else because they're getting all their things done. So we want to make sure whatever your schedule is, it's going to look different, and that is okay. Just really kind of look, we want you to kind of push the envelope where you can push the envelope and say, you know what, I got to do better for me. Because when you push yourself, you're going to understand the necessary steps that it's going to have to take for you to kind of push yourself to get and succeed at that, whatever you were trying to go after. Is also going to be a domino effect in how maybe you teach, whether it's teaching your children, whether it's teaching, if you're a teacher, your students, maybe you're an instructor, maybe you're an entrepreneur yourself, and you know, all entrepreneurs, even mindset and these great inspirational, like Tony Robbins, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them that you could list a name, Ray Higdon, they have a specific dedication and sacrifice of their daily, of making sure they're doing them in order to do us for all of us, for, you know, us, what I call small potatoes next to them. So understand that you work within what you work, and that's okay.
Yeah, don't compare yourself to anyone else. That works for me. But yes, the point is to make that time for yourself. Absolutely. And one exercise that people can do for that, and I think we've talked about this before, was that weekly notification that you get that says how long you are on your mobile device, digital device, whatever we call it. You know, if you're waking up I know a lot of people, have to get up early for work and they still travel to work. If you're waking up at, say, 6 o'clock and you're rushing around to get ready, obviously that type of thing like that I do is not going to work. But if you're getting up at 6 o'clock and you're on, the first thing you do is you're on your device, 15-30 minutes goes by, kind of wind that back a little bit. If your jam is the first thing getting up in the morning, I don't suggest it. But if your first thing is, I'm gonna, go on my device for 15 minutes and then use that other 15 minutes to breathe or whatever you need to start some type of habitual routine for yourself. So mold it for you, not for anybody else.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to just add is if you did not catch our Saturday, Stealing into Saturday podcast, please tune in and listen to Dr. Anthony. I actually had a few people that did actually tune in over the weekend and were really, really impressed and wanted to know if we were bringing him back. We will most certainly bring him back. He has a lot of good insights. And if you didn't catch it, I highly suggest you catch it because it really gives a different perspective from a surgeon and his expertise and, the importance of mindset, knowing that he is, in this case, he is the last person that sees that patient awake before they're just about to go under. And the phrase that he used was still stuck with me, and I'm going to probably not say it correctly, but I'll get to the meaning of it. Basically, this is the last breath they take before the next step of death. Basically, that's what it is. So it's in between that your breathing, your lungs, your mind, your body, they're basically controlling it so that your body doesn't feel the pain of whatever surgery that you're having. And the description, I can't remember the line he used, but it's really the next step before you would be, caputo. So it's definitely a great conversation we had with him. We were super excited and proud that he sought us out to actually be a guest. A lot of times we'll hear a speaker or, the different entrepreneur groups that we're in, we'll resonate with somebody and we'll have that chat with them. And a couple times we've actually been approached, but this one, I would have to say by far, outside of a few of our normal, what we call repeat offenders, was probably one of the best podcasts to date that we've had. And he was just amazing. So we're excited to have him back. So controversial, because, obviously sometimes Monday Mindset is full with, whatever controversy was going on in the weekend. And of course, the controversy had to do with, of course, the Olympics, which there's been a lot of, controversy with the Olympics. And this particular Emma Wyatt, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, won the silver she's a silver medalist, has been gold before, but she's, in different type of competitions, but won the silver medalist for the 500 freestyle event. Actually, it was the NCAA championships, not the Olympics. So I got to correct myself on that. So it was the NCAA, just the Olympics, they're coming up or they were just over or something. Right, they were just over the Winter Olympics. So that's why I got Olympics on my brain. So there was a lot of controversy because another person won. Not going to give him the spotlight or her the spotlight of announcing that person's name because I don't want to. This is not necessarily what that person is about. But it was an interesting thing because we talk about biologically. When you think about, let's just take this particular sport in swimming. You will know that the women's 500 yard freestyle or any of their types of strokes that they're doing, whether it's the butterfly, freestyle, back, I don't know what the other one is, breaststroke, whatever it may be. Their time is always going to be shorter than a male's because biologically we know a biological male is made up differently than a woman. In a lot of sports, you will see the same sport, but maybe the rules are tweaked versus a male versus a female. It might not necessarily be in the scoring piece to it, but it may be in other things, whether it's time, whether it's modification, even golf. Let's take golf. You know, where a male tees off is further back than where a female tees off. And there's a reason for that, because biologically, a male is stronger. They're made up different. They have a different makeup. They have a different chromosome than a woman does, a lady does, a female does. Go ahead.
And I would want to add to that, and I have 2 words. Females have estrogen, males have testosterone. And what builds muscles? Testosterone. Yes,
Right.
women do have testosterone, but not as much as the male. Therefore, you know, sometimes I can't believe that we have these conversations, but they're good because they get me riled up. Continue.
Okay. So the point being, between the estrogen, the testosterone, the Y chromosome, like everything, there's a difference, and there's a difference. So while women have busted their asses to get to the point of where we are even close to male sports, because male sports have always dominated sports, right? I mean, they just do. From boxing to triathlons to a marathoner, whatever it may be, basketball, baseball, football, you name it. They just, they dominate their sport. So it would be fair to unthink, and that's why you don't see biological females necessarily playing in the same league. They may be in the same sports. So while men have professional baseball, we have women's softball, professional softball. The NBA, we do have a women's league and we do have a men's league. So, and I would say that's probably the only sport, basketball, I'm going to kind of zero in on, where I think they're more competitively equal or as close as equal to be. There's definitely a lot of women basketball players that can slam dunk, can do the 3-point shot as a male. But and it's not to say one is better than the other. The point being is naturally the sports are going to be outlined and done in such a way that represents both sexes to the best of their ability. So then, like I said, you don't see females that are going into men's sports. So of course, in this case, this is different. We're seeing I wouldn't say an onslaught, but we're seeing a lot more transgender males that have transgendered to female that are now in female sports. So that is the controversy. Now, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give him I'm not going to give her any platform. My thing with that, I'm just going to go by one thing. In his biological sport, he was ranked 462, which is, you're not even on the radar, dude. Okay, 462, you're not on the radar. However, now that he has transgendered to a she, and I don't, and the whole point of this transgender thing, and this is probably going to sound kind of a little bizarro, and I don't know enough about the transgendering process, but if you still have the biological male parts, okay, and from what I understand, they tape it up. We're talking about, the men's private parts, they tape it up. And you can clearly see that his is taped up, and the suit that I'm looking at, or it's taped up. Just because your mind says you identify, which I think that's the word, we've got a couple different words from the last 2 years that we hate. I'm hating the word identify, because you're not fully there. And, you know, my personal belief, and this is my personal belief, that when you start doing that, that's, to me, it's mutilation of the body. Anyways, it's a disrespect to your body. You're mutilating your body. That's my personal belief. Not everyone's going to agree with that. They can argue that point all they want. For me, that's, you're mutilating it. You're mutilating your body. However, I have no issue with somebody who thinks whatever they think. But if you still have the biological parts of the biological DNA that you are made up of, and now you, I identify, so you go from ranking 462 to being ranked #1. To me, it's a new form of cheating. So, and a lot of people are stuck on the whole transgender piece, and she's now in a women's division. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not even really, I mean, yeah, that's the obvious piece of the controversy. I'm not thinking of that part. I'm thinking of, it's a new way to cheat. You can like tape up some body parts, and I'm sure there are some that have completed the process. And I'm gonna go on the record of saying I don't know whether this person has completed the process. It doesn't appear to be, just by you looking at the pictures. Does not appear to be. And I asked that question in another group. I said, well, how do they you know, some people that I know that are involved in a particular transgender group said that's what they do. They actually just tape up their private parts because they haven't completed the. And when you have Bruce Jenner, who was actually in this sport and competed as a male, who we now know is Caitlyn Jenner, who has completed the process. If you have someone who's respected in this particular sport and he says it's wrong, this is coming from the horse's mouth. So Caitlyn Jenner has come out and publicly stated he does not think it is right, and it thinks it is absolutely an unfair advantage for a male who identifies as being a female who now is competing in this sport. Totally unfair advantage. He knows that, and this is his sport. And I think I would say he's the expert in both pieces of the story. So to me, the end result is, why would someone do that? I mean, obviously, Bruce, when Caitlyn was Bruce, he went a different avenue. He, you know, took him years to discover and come out and go that route, but it did not impact who he was within his sport. So I'm wondering what, you know, is that part of the story that no one's talking about? Is that a piece to it? Is this now a way for someone that's ranked low to now go be the dominant in a sport just by saying I identify with? And so that's the controversy from my perspective. To me, it's just a new way of cheating.
Well, there's so much I can say. I do believe it is a form of cheating. I can't even fathom, you know, I always look at, you know, what we went through as an ice skating family growing up and all the training that went into that. So these athletes, and I think you said her name is Emma, whatever her, yeah. So
Emma, and I'm not sure that I'm actually pronouncing her name right. It is Emma Wyatt, Weyant Wyatt, and if you look at her picture, she's just and there was actually a couple of pictures. You've got the winner over here on the podium, and then you have the three women, or I think it's two or three other women that were also won, you know, whether you have silver, bronze, whatever, and they're kind of all to their side. The size difference alone is remarkable, you know, from stature to, you know, height to, you know, muscle, everything. It's clearly, you see the difference. And I think she handled it with dignity. I'm sure, you know, like, you know, any true competitor, she's probably pissed off, and I don't blame her. I really don't, because I think at the end of the day, the issue I have with this is a lot of people will talk about that, this person identifies and, that person should not, have their, goals and dreams squashed because they identify with, and they're trying to live their best versions of themselves. And I wholeheartedly agree that everyone on this planet, regardless of who you are, what your DNA is, should always be living their best version, but not at the expense of stealing someone's best version, not out of the expense of cheating someone's hard work for their best version, not at the expense of, stealing that moment because you were focused on your best version, but you robbed someone else their best version, their moment in time. That's the part I have a difficult time with. The whole transgender topic, that's to me, I put that to the side. That's not even, the obvious is there. So that's not even my issue. My issue is this now the new way to cheat? Because we should never cheat ourselves. We should never cheat our mindset. We should not cheat our health and wellness. That's why we talk about always focusing on yourself, making sure that you are number one and you put yourself first in your drive, in your energy, in your mindset, in your work ethics, but not at the expense of robbing someone else those same things because they put in the work within their own realm, within their own division. And I don't know, why doesn't anyone talk about just have a transgender division? There's a men's division, there's a women's division, have a transgender division.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I'm not.
All transgenders compete against themselves.
Right. I mean, I'm not against, how do I say this? Your choice or a person's choice to be transgender, I wholeheartedly support that. Whether you want to be transgender or whether you want to be gay, I wholeheartedly support that.
See, I don't even classify those two in the same category. I don't. Because, and the reason why I say that, John and I have a lot of lesbian friends. We have a lot of gay friends. And we said, look, we'll have those very open conversations. And 99% of those that we know don't understand transgender. If you talk to a lesbian will say, I know that I'm attracted to women. I love women. And if you talk to a male, I'm attracted to a male. But they don't understand the whole changing the body parts and all of that. And those are only the ones that I've spoken to. So I'm not going to, again, blanket the whole. So they struggle with the same things that a heterosexual couple will like. I don't understand it. But that's why I say even pushing that piece aside of it, when you are robbing someone and cheating someone, and the reason why is I have to identify to be the best version of myself. No one's saying don't do that. Of course, always be the best version of yourself, but not at the expense of robbing someone else their moment, their best version. Because here she's been in this division all her life, working hard, towards her goals. It's not easy to be become a gold medalist. And then you have someone who, in their own biological division, for all intents and purposes, sucks, was no good. And when I say that means not that the person is not good, but didn't measure up to be in the top 10 if you're ranked 468. So and that does not mean that his work ethics were good. Just that meant that 400 blah 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 people above you were more talented or more naturally a better athlete, whatever it may be. Because in the end of the day, while our society is pushing everyone as a winner, not everyone's a winner when it comes to sports. You got a winner and you got a first place loser. So with that thought, someone said, well, because the joke is, especially in the cheerleading industry, which is a part of so many years and still am, second, it was the runner up was the first loser. In this case, second is the gold winner in my mind. Second is the new winner, because she while she didn't get that medal, she got the silver medal. And I feel that this is a disservice to really find a new way to cheat. Because let's face it, what happens when a male or female take certain drugs to enhance their biological ability? That's against the rules. So where's the difference?
Exactly. And I just want to clarify what I said earlier. I support anybody's decision to be either gay or transgender. What I completely don't understand, and maybe I never will, is why or how that happens to make a physical transformation for transgender. I'm trying to say that, or put it out there as gently as I can. So I just wanted to clarify that. A person has to choose whom and what they want to be. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And on that note, it's chilly in here. I might have to run around a little bit more, and we'll get the fire going. But anyways, Mindset Monday, go out and make a difference, not only for yourself and others. Be kind, be gentle, and come back tomorrow I think we're going on tomorrow night, and then we're off for about 5 or 6 days. We'll figure that part out. And my name is Janis, AKA Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with TwoSistas,
and this is Carol, so AKA Naughty Bus on this Monday Mindset. Make sure that you schedule yourself. It's so important to be the best version of yourself, because when you're the best version of yourself, that is going to transcend your positivity, your kindness. You're paying it forward down to other people. And guess what? That's going to impact their day. We will see you tomorrow night for Triumph Tuesday. Hopefully, a lot of people triumphed over maybe derailments today, or we're going to find out. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.